I set up hidden cameras at home and caught my wife cheating. A month later, I found out she was having a nervous breakdown and stopped taking care of our son. I'm kind of lost right now. It's been about 2 weeks since I found out about her cheating. I had my suspicions for a while. Lots of warning signs, but nothing concrete. I decided to ask her straight up. Her reaction was weird. She got furious. "How can you even accuse me of that? I'd never cheat on you." That just made me believe it even more. I checked her phone and I checked the computer but found nothing. I bought a few small cameras and set them up around the house, then went away for the weekend to visit some friends. I grew up in Norway, near the Swedish border. My wife and I met in Sweden. I was 20, she was 21, and she already had a 3-year-old kid. We hit it off quickly. For the past 11 years, I've been like a dad to that boy. I love him a lot and consider him my son. We've been married for 6 years now, but honestly, that doesn't matter anymore. Anyway, I came home early when she definitely wasn't there. It was supposed to happen, so I checked the footage. And yeah, there she was, fooling around with another guy. I recognized him. It was her colleague, Theodore. He and his wife were on good terms with us. I used to think the phrase, "eyes filled with blood," was just a figure of speech. But I actually saw red at that moment. I've never been that angry before. Usually, I'm a pretty calm guy. I almost never lose my cool, but this time I completely lost it. I was punching the walls, slammed the bedroom door so hard it came off its hinges, and smashed the glass. There was a small table in the living room. I bit the inside of my cheek and didn't even notice it. But when I screamed, I splattered blood all over the walls and floor. At one point, I hit my head pretty hard, which kinda sobered me up a bit. I looked around at the mess and realized I needed to get out of there fast. If my wife had walked in right then, I'd definitely be in jail. At best for domestic violence, at worst for murder. I quickly packed a suitcase with just the essentials and grabbed my laptop. I work with simulations and modeling. I've got a powerful computer. I can't do without it. I sent a copy of the video to Theodore's wife with a message that just said, "Your husband is cheating on you with my wife." I ran into my son near our house, hugged him, and told him I'd always love him. But his mom is cheating on me, so I have to leave. I really regret telling him that. He shouldn't have had to carry that burden, but at the time, I wasn't myself, and it just slipped out. I went to the border, hoping to get to my family in Norway, but because of the pandemic, they wouldn't let me in. I rented a cheap apartment on Airbnb. I'm working, but I feel like zombies. I don't talk to my wife. The only person I respond to is my son. He asks questions, and I try to be as honest with him as possible. I tell him I don't know what's going to happen next, but the divorce is definitely coming. I'm trying to find a good lawyer. I don't respond to her family at all. As far as I know, only my parents are aware on my side. I don't want to talk to friends because they're also friends with my wife. So right now, I'm pretty much on my own. I'm afraid that if I see or talk to her, I'll lose it and do something I'll regret later. Regret my whole life. I also don't want to lose touch with my son, but I don't even know where to start. I'm still boiling with rage, and I have no idea how to get past it. I need to respond to my wife at some point, but right now I'm so angry I can't think straight. I just wanted to write it down, hoping it might help. So far, it hasn't helped at all. Update 1. I'm feeling better now. I even went to an MMA club. Just to be clear, I don't know how to fight at all, and my fitness isn't great either. When I was younger, I fought a couple of times and always got seriously beaten up. I talked to the guys at the club and explained the situation. They turned out to be really friendly and wanted to help. At first, they made me train for 2 hours straight, and when that didn't calm me down, they sent me to the ring with a very experienced fighter. It was clear he was being careful with me. Even though I did everything I could, I didn't really put up a proper fight. He obviously let me land a few small punches and kicks, but easily blocked everything else. A few times, I even managed to land some. He used just a little force, and he'd immediately back off gently. Since I have zero fighting skills, even his light hits really messed me up. He always checked if I was okay before carrying on. A couple of times, he even apologized for hitting me harder than he meant to. Can you imagine that? Saying sorry for hitting your opponent during a fight. He clearly didn't take me seriously and probably never saw me as a threat. That's when I really looked at people who know how to fight and made up my mind to learn it for real. Those guys, the calmest people I've ever met. I want to be just as balanced. That little fight really helped me. It actually cooled down my anger. I'm still mad, but not as much. Now I can control it. I'll keep going there, training, and getting my ass kicked, but I still don't trust myself enough to face my wife. I talked to my son and told him that no matter what happens, we'll be okay. To me, he's my son, and nothing changes that. It all depends on how things go with his mom. I think it was important for him to hear that. I also talked to a few mutual friends and her parents. From what I gather, my wife totally lost it. She's been calling everyone day and night, confessing everything to just about anyone, even offering money to anyone who can help her get in touch with me. I thought about only communicating through a lawyer, but that's expensive. So I asked my cousin to act as a go-between. I gave her a few questions to pass on to my wife. Let's see what comes of it will lead to that. Next week, I also plan to get in touch with my lover's wife. Some commenters kept insisting that I should talk to her and tell her that if she lets me adopt my son, then I might consider reconciliation. But I would never do that. I would never use my son as a bargaining chip. No way. Right now, I really want to adopt him, but only if he asks me himself, and only when I'm sure it's his own decision and no one else is influencing him. I didn't push myself. I think I can get through this. I've gotten so much good advice here that now it feels like I have a plan for what to do next. Second update. Sorry for not getting in touch sooner. After my last post, I had a lot on my mind. I got a bunch of messages in my inbox, so it's easier to write one general update. I started calling my son twice a day. He always said he was fine, but I suspected that wasn't true. I tried to pull myself together. I went to see a therapist one-on-one. Therapy helped a bit, but what really changed things was taking up boxing. The first gym I went to was dirty and rundown, but the 5 guys training there were really tight-knit, and I really wanted to be part of their crew. They told me I had to talk to the old guy who owned the club first. He was the one who decided who got in and who didn't. Everyone clearly respected him, so I was a bit nervous. Let's just say, the old man had a pretty tough personality. At first, he just listened, but when he started talking, He started getting worked up. It's hard to even explain why everything he said was true. Maybe that's exactly what pissed me off. Or maybe it was the tone. Like every sentence or question was some kind of accusation. The old man made me feel unworthy of being a member of his club. Suddenly, I found myself arguing with him, trying to prove I deserved it. I still don't know if he was just a jerk or some kind of genius. But either way,
The guy had a really positive impact on my life, even though being around him was pretty tough. It's uncomfortable. Now I'm starting to get why people respect and appreciate him so much. The old man helped me realize the reason for my anger and taught me to think more clearly. That's a whole other story, and the texts are already too long, so I'll get back to the point. A few days after my post, about 20 minutes after another conversation, my son called me back himself. He was crying and apologizing for lying when he said everything was fine at home. He told me his wife just sits in front of the TV, staring blankly at it, even when he was off. There was nothing to eat at home and the apartment smelled awful. In the last 2 days, he'd only eaten a few sandwiches that his friend's mom gave him when he visited their place. Of course, I rushed straight home. The stench of rotten trash hit me in the hallway even before I opened the door. The place was a total mess. Obviously, no one had cleaned since I left almost a month ago. The floors were covered with crumpled papers. The sink was piled high with dirty dishes. Broken glass was all over the floor. The smell of rotting garbage was disgusting. The first thing I went to see my son. On the way home, I grabbed a burger for him. I asked him to stay in his room and eat while I talked to his mom. I promised him everything would be okay. Now I'm home and I'll take care of everything. He cried and hugged me tight before I went to check on his mom. That hug was so warm. I missed him so. At that moment, I totally forgot what she had done. Seeing her like that was unbearable. I think, in a way, I still love her and worry about her, despite what she did. It scares me a little. Maybe there's something wrong with me? I didn't even know what to say to her. She was clearly not herself. She asked me if I was real. When I said yes, she broke down crying like I'd never heard before. Maybe it's better to say she howled. It was so loud I actually jumped. Suddenly, right in the middle of the scream, she either fell asleep or passed out. I put my Fitbit on her because I had no idea how to check her pulse. It was jumping between 100 and 150 beats per minute. I figured that was definitely a bad sign. I gently laid her down on the couch, wiped the tears and snot off her face, and ran to the neighbors for help. They agreed to watch my son while I took her to the hospital. She's been there for about 7 days now. Honestly, I've kind of lost track. I went to see her once, but she got so upset when they saw me, the doctors recommended not visiting her for now. They haven't diagnosed her yet, and they don't know when or if she'll come around. Since then, I've been completely focused on taking care of my son. He goes to therapy regularly, and it seems like he's getting better. There's no doubt this situation has traumatized him. I'm overwhelmed with guilt for causing his suffering. I've contacted a lawyer to get custody rights. I'm not sure what will come of it yet. I've also prepared to. I was thinking about getting a divorce, but for now, I decided to hold off. We spent a few days cleaning the house. I scrubbed the fridge with bleach, but it still smelled like rotten food, so I had to buy a new one. I also found out that my wife took all my dirty clothes to the bed and piled them up to make some kind of body shape. She even added a few anatomical details. It looked pretty creepy. I looked through her paper notes scattered all over the house. Mostly, it was just incoherent nonsense. Some pages had dates and times on them. It was hard to make sense of anything except a few pages filled with the word sorry, written over and over. I'm going to slowly start rebuilding my self-respect and sense of manhood. If my wife comes out of this state, I'll talk to her and then decide what to do next. But right now, my main focus is my son. I need to make sure he's going to be okay. Sorry my story doesn't have any exciting stuff like big confrontations or epic revenge like the others here. I'm just exhausted and sad. I honestly have no idea what to do next. Before, everything seemed clear and simple. Now, I don't see any good options. Here's the third update. I have a few questions. Maybe you can help me see things from a different perspective. If you want to comment, just don't bother. Don't even waste your time. I'll ignore your message anyway. I understand that in the end, the decision is mine alone, and I'll make whichever choice feels right for me and my family, no matter what it is. Lately, I've barely been sleeping, so my thoughts might be a bit mixed up. Please try to understand. I really value different opinions. It helps me figure myself out. My wife is still in the hospital. She refuses to see anyone except her mom. Her only request, besides no visitors at all, is that no one talks to me on her behalf or tries to pressure me. She's admitted to cheating to pretty much everyone but didn't go into details. Her calls were panicked and sounded like, "I cheated, he's going to leave me, what should I do?" In the end, no one really bothers me much as long as... The only thing is, I don't ask for help or advice myself. My wife wrote me a letter a few days ago. Her mother gave it to me. It's really long, like 32 pages. I'll try to sum up the main points. She apologizes for what she did to me as her son and to our family. She says she'll sign any papers I give her, no questions asked. Even divorce papers, right away. She also admitted that before the physical cheating happened, she had a 2-month emotional affair online with another man. I didn't know anything about it. So, I think this guy's attention made her self-esteem skyrocket. He's really handsome. Looks like a real model. And I've seen his wife in person. She's absolutely stunning. A perfect 10. A total knockout. My wife was totally swept up in that feeling of importance. Getting attention from such a handsome guy, who's married to such a beautiful woman, gave her a huge emotional boost. She felt special, like she'd beaten out that gorgeous woman and caught her husband's eye. She admits she knew it was wrong, but she honestly can't understand why she couldn't stop. She hates herself for losing control. From what I gathered, Roman only got physical when her lover started losing interest in her. She began using sex as a way to keep his attention. Judging by her diary, sex with him felt more like an unpleasant chore. She didn't enjoy it. She just did it to get more attention, almost like rewarding him for it. It's clear she was tormented by guilt, especially at first. But soon she learned to suppress that feeling. Of course, we started drifting apart, and our relationship got worse. The physical connection lasted 4 weeks. They kissed and cuddled. They were intimate 5 times. This is confirmed by her diary and confession, as well as her location data and bank statements for hotels and other expenses. You already know what happened next. Her letter ends with these words. I don't know who that woman was, the one who had that affair, or at least I don't recognize myself in her. I don't understand how I could be like that. I easily abandoned my beliefs and morals and hurt the people I loved most in the world. I don't understand why I couldn't stop myself. I'm not going to insult you by asking for your understanding or forgiveness. I don't deserve either. My only hope is that I can somehow help you and our son heal. I'm ready to do whatever you ask. No questions or complaints. I'll do anything you think might help, no matter how big or small. When? I'll be discharged and move in with my mom. I'll keep my distance unless you ask me to come back. I don't want my being around to remind you both of the pain I caused. I can't even find the words to say how sorry I am for what I did. More than anything, I want you to heal and find someone worthy of your love. Someone who makes you happy. I pray I haven't taken away your ability to trust and love someone who deserves it. I won't be with anyone else because it's clear that I'm dangerous to be around. I'm going to see a therapist and try to figure out what's wrong with me. Maybe one day I'll be able to heal. But right now I don't even know who I am, or why I couldn't stop myself from doing those things. I knew perfectly well I was doing the wrong thing, that I was hurting everyone, including myself. But I just kept going. I was selfish, causing pain just to feel a little better for a moment. When I saw the pain on your face, on the security footage, that awful look. It was heartbreaking watching that video of me with another man. In that moment I realized how blind I had been, how awful and cruel I'd become. I'm afraid I don't deserve forgiveness. I'll always love you. I wish I could undo it all, go back, but I can't. I'm sorry. I was crying my eyes out reading her letter and have no idea what to do now. I didn't sleep all night, just kept reading it over and over. Now I feel emotionally drained, shaken, confused, and lost. I watched it again. I watched the video, then went back and watched the recording where I complete. My wife says that when a person gets so caught up in an affair, their behavior becomes impulsive, and it stops being a conscious choice. If there are any women here who have cheated on their husbands, please share your experience. Also, from her diaries, it's clear that about 3 years ago, after her beloved aunt passed away, she fell into depression. Since then, her outlook on life has become really dark, almost hopeless. I've read other stories where depression caused sudden personality changes and led to cheating. I'd appreciate any insights. Thoughts on this? It's pretty clear she never actually loved those guys. She just liked feeling important, boosting her self-esteem, and the rush she got when they told her what she wanted to hear. The day everything came out, the wife cut off all contact with the lover and even called his wife herself to tell her about the affair. I know because his wife told me when we met. By the way, she even offered to sleep with me out of spite. She was totally obsessed with the idea. She wanted to get revenge, like that would change anything. But aside from looks, she's probably the most annoying woman I've ever met. Of course, there won't be any revenge. I'll never see her again. No way. I don't know what to do next. I can't sleep. I can't think. I really need help. Update number 4. I'm really grateful to everyone on this forum. Thanks to you, I've been able to make a little sense of this mess. I'm feeling better now, like I'm back in control. I tried to meet with my wife. She still refuses to see me, and her mom is still acting as the go-between. I tried reminding her about her promise in the letter that she'd do whatever it takes to help. Her mom passed on my message that I found our conversation helpful. I also asked if I could go with her to the doctor to better understand what's going on. But the doctor can't talk to me without her being there. I'm trying to be patient. In short, I was diagnosed with PTSD. My wife has chronic depression and some bipolar disorder. She has There's a chemical imbalance in her brain. Right now, the doctors are trying to find the right meds. A lot of you were right. Her condition made her vulnerable. I tried to find out if it was true. She wrote in her diary that sex was a burden for her, and you can see it in the video. She's completely detached, just waiting for it to be over. I still don't know what to do, but I deleted the videos with her and the ones where I'm losing it. They only caused me pain, but I just couldn't stop watching them. Part of me is screaming, "Leave, find someone else." But what if she cheats again? How can I trust her? Can I ever get that film out of my head, the one that keeps playing over and over, going in circles? What if, after X years, I still end up divorced because I just couldn't get through it? These questions are really tearing me up. But divorce would definitely mean a loss, at least losing some everyday contact with my son. He needs me. At least right now, he definitely does. He's absolutely terrified of being abandoned again. Not surprising, given everything that's happened. I think if I leave his mom now, it would only make things worse for him. If I can leave her when she's like this, what's stopping me from leaving him too? Most likely he thinks that. He sees it exactly that way. We started going to the boxing gym together, and our bond became stronger than ever. Being in his life gives me incredible strength and motivation to approach everything with an open heart. Right now, he completely leans on me. And even if I decided to divorce, I'm not sure I could go through with it at the moment. He begged me not to leave him again. Those 2 weeks when I was gone were a real trauma for him. And I'm not going to put him through that again. It's impossible to say how much time. She needs time to get stable again and be a good mom to him. If I divorce her now, she might never really recover. Even if I do leave her, the pain won't just disappear. The scars will stay. I'll carry all that into any new relationship. I think that seriously lowers the chances of them working out. Isn't it more sensible to stay with her while I'm healing? At least she'll understand why I act the way I do and what I'm going through. But if I do leave, what's waiting for me out there? Women my age are either divorced, and not without reason, or so wrapped up in their kids that they don't pick someone they can build a healthy relationship with, but just anyone who can play the role of a dad. I feel like there's a big risk of a string of doomed relationships from the start because one side is desperate and the other is broken. Dating strangers and casual hookups don't interest me. Plus, how long will it take me to find someone who understands me the way my wife did? The only person in my life who truly knew me, and it took years to get there. Will I ever find someone again who understands me like that? How long will it take? And there's no guarantee a new partner won't cheat too. Considering everything that happened, it actually feels like the chance of my wife cheating again is lower than with a totally new person. My son needs his mom, but she needs to heal first before she can be that person again. The question is, will she recover? Would it be faster and more effective if I just divorced her? Or what if we try to fix things? I don't know. It's driving me crazy. How can I be sure my son is safe around her when I'm not there? What's better for me, being alone or staying with her? From what I've learned here, people who rush into divorce rarely truly heal. It seems the best results for inner healing happen when the one who cheated is actively involved in the process. It usually takes 3 to 5. It's been years, but honestly, I'm not sure if she's even capable of that anymore. So, that's how things stand. I'm in a terrible inner struggle. A million questions spinning in my head and almost no answers. I'm still torn between 2 extremes: reconciliation or divorce. I can't deny that I still love my wife. It turns out our bond isn't that easy to break. I really don't want to love her. My pride demands that I hate her. But I can't lie to myself. I still love her deeply. And even though in the first weeks I fantasized about, I don't want her to get hurt as badly as I did. I don't want to cause pain to her or anyone else. That won't help me at all. I see a long, painful road ahead. I just hope I have the strength to get through it, and the patience to make the right choice for myself and my family. One thing I'm sure of. If I do decide to offer reconciliation, it won't be just a gift. I need to see her effort. I won't suggest making up until I'm completely sure we're both 100% ready to take that path. And, yeah, if we actually try to fix things, she'll basically be on probation. I don't want to be with someone like that, but I just don't have any other choice if I can't trust her. Either way, we're going to need a lot of therapy. Maybe she doesn't even want to make up. I just don't know. Not being able to talk to her is really weighing on me. It's exhausting. I feel like I really need to talk to her. If anyone has any good advice on how to handle this,